Hey guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have x to the power of 3 minus x squared equals 100. Now, what we're first going to do is, as you can see, both of these terms have x in them, right? So the best thing to do is to factor out x with the highest degree, which in this case is 2. So we're going to factor out x squared. And that would help us simplify our equation by a lot. So if we factor out x squared, x to the power of 3 divided by x squared, well, that's x to the power of 3 minus 2, which is x, because x to the power of 1 is x, minus x squared divided by x squared is simply 1. So we have x squared times x minus 1, and this equals 100 still. Now what we're going to do is we're going to change 100 into 25 times 4. 100 is equal to 25 times 4. And this is still equal to x squared times x minus 1. Now, this gives us two equations. We would have x squared equals 25, and x minus 1 equals 4. Well, for x squared equals 25, if we do the square root on both sides, we would get, well, the square root of x squared is simply x equals, the square root of 25 is positive or negative 5. So as you can see, this is one solution, and x minus 1 equals 4. Well, we would add 1 on both sides, and if we do that, we get x, these two cancel out, equals 4 plus 1 is 5. However, as you can see, 5 is already one of our solutions. So this is just unnecessary. We already have this as a solution. So we have x equals 5 and negative 5. Now, why don't we plug these two into our equation and see if they are right? Let's first start with 5. So we would have 5 to the power of 3 minus 5 squared equals 100. Now, this would equal, well, 5 to the power of 3 is 125, and minus 5 squared is 25, and 125 minus 25 is 100. So 100 equals 100, and this is right, so 5 is a solution. Now, why don't we plug in negative 5? Plugging in negative 5, we would get negative 5 in parentheses to the power of 3 minus negative 5 to the power of 2 equals 100. Now, negative 5 to the power of 3, well, a negative to the power of an odd number is still going to be negative. And 5 to the power of 3 is 125. So this would be negative 125 minus negative 5 squared is 25. And negative 125 minus 25, well, that's negative 150. And that is not equal to 100, so this is rejected. And 5 is our only correct answer. Guys, welcome back to Click Academics. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to solve this exponential equation. So we have x to the power of 4 minus 9 equals 0. So what I'm first going to do is I'm going to change x to the power of 4 to x squared to the power of 2. Because remember, an important property of exponents is that we have a to the power of m to the power of n. This is also equal to a to the power of m times n. So what I'm doing is I'm simply reversing this. I'm converting it back to its original form. So x squared to the power of 2 minus, I'm going to change 9 to 3 squared. And this is still equal to 0. Now, an important equation or expression that we have is a squared minus b squared. And a squared minus b squared, if you guys already didn't know, is equal to a plus b times a minus b. So a squared minus b squared can be written as a plus b times a minus b. So as you can see right here, what I've done is I've changed this equation to match it up with a squared minus b squared. A in this case, a is equal to x squared. And b is equal to 3. So we have x squared to the power of 2 minus 3 squared, and this is also equal to a squared minus b squared. So all we have to do is plug in a and b into our expression here, a plus b times a minus b. So a is x squared, so we have x squared plus b is 3 times x squared minus 3. So now this equals 0. And now this gives us two equations. We have x squared plus 3 equals 0, and x squared minus 3 equals 0. So for x squared plus 3 equals 0, we saw this right here, we're going to subtract 3 on both sides. So if we subtract 3 on both sides, we get x squared is equal to negative 3. Now, if we take the square root on both sides, we get x equals positive or negative square root of 3i. So this is actually two solutions because we have positive and negative. Now for x squared minus 3 equals 0, we're going to add 3 on both sides. So we get x squared equals 3. Now if we take the square root on both sides, we get x equals positive or negative 3. So now our four solutions are x equals square root of 3i, x equals negative square root of 3i, x equals square root of 3, and sorry, forgot to put that over here, and x equals negative square root of 3. So these four are our solutions.